Garmin nuvi 1260. It's all set up. This one ended up being a very good one, very lightly used. No problems with setup, but that's what we're going to talk about here, is how to set one of these things up. So I'll go through that, then go through a few things that you should not do with this, and just go from there. So the first thing, actually let me put the volume back on there, is from System and then About. Check your software version, because 6.30, which I believe was released in 2015, is the last software version for this particular model. There was something like 27 system software updates for this thing. When it was first released back in the day, back in 2009, 2010, oh yeah, this had problems. But 6.3 does fix all of that. Now you can, even though this is not a lifetime maps model, we'll get to the maps in a second, you can connect it to Garmin Express and get that system software 6.3. But if there ever comes the point where you cannot, not a problem, because you can go to archive.org and download an archived copy of version 6.3. Yes, I will have it linked as a pinned comment, along with a few other things. Not a problem. The next thing to note is, okay, so I do have, excuse me, open map chest, excuse me, sorry, on this. I didn't even put Garmin maps on this. I could if I wanted to, but it's like, no, I'll just put on the open map chest stuff, which is OpenStreetMap. Okay, so you do need a memory card for this. I do suggest getting a 32 gigabyte micro SD memory card. Now you could use an 8 or a 16. Why do I say 32? Because that's the one that is generally available. If you have an 8 gigabyte or a 16 gigabyte kicking around, sure, you could put it in here and it would work. But as far as buying one new, well, you can't exactly buy 8 gigabytes new anymore. Not that I've seen anyway. 16s you can still find, sort of. 32s, however, are readily available. And what you do is that you make a folder called Map, not Garmin, Map, on that memory card, FAT32 formatted. Put your gmap sup.img on there, downloaded from Open Map Chest, and then you can get your maps. No problem. The next thing, which I've done a video on this before. Now this uses text-to-speech version 1. And the problem with those is they every time you miss a turn, recalculating over and over and over again. It's very annoying. I made some English voices, and again, these will be linked. Look for them in the pinned comment, where the recalculating is, I took it out. The voice still works totally. So, you know, if you listen to it, let me just go ahead and give you an example. Put some volume on that.
In 4.1 miles, exit right to exit 296A I-75 South Tampa.
So it totally works. Let me just put that back down. Back over here. Yeah. So with these voices, my versions do not have recalculating in them. Everything else works, but it will not say recalculating. And believe me, that is a must-have for this unit. And the last thing I will say, and this was, we have to get into a little bit of history with this model. Don't worry, I won't go too long about it. A little bit of history and why you shouldn't use a specific feature, and it's right there. Okay. when this thing was first released in 2009, there were two huge complaints about, in addition to all the things that the software versions fixed later. The two biggest complaints about this is that the Bluetooth was awful. Now, this has got a little speaker in it and a tiny little microphone that is right on the side over here. To actually use this paired with a phone, I mean, you can Bluetooth this to a phone even now, sure. But to actually use this thing to hold voice conversations paired with a smartphone, it's a bad idea. The speaker is tiny and the microphone is very tinny. And in addition to that, when you are speaking and then when the other person on the other end of the conversation is speaking, they cancel out. Again, this is 2009 technology we're talking about here. So that Bluetooth, no, don't use it. Not for voice conversations anyway. It's just, I mean, yes, doable, recommended, absolutely not. And the second complaint about this, the huge one, which is no longer a concern, is the traffic. Now, yeah, this is a 1260T, so it has the ability to hook up a GTM 25. I don't think it works with the
In 1.1 miles, exit right to exit 296A I-75 South Camden.
Let's mute that so I can continue my conversation here. Okay, so this will not work with the GTM 36, but it will work with the GTM 25 and possibly a GTM 26. So if you are in an area with FM traffic coverage, yeah, you could do this. And also when you hook up this to Garmin Express, it still will update the traffic receiver for the frequencies that it knows about. So it will still do it. But back in anyway, GTM 25 is the one I think works with this. Anyway, in 2009, this was at a time when Garmin made this so that when you received traffic, guess what else you got with this? Ads. You know how people complain about ads with traffic on smartphones these days, like with Waze and Google Maps and things like that? Or I think just Waze. Well, this had it too. Yes, it did. You would get little banners at the top sometimes when traffic was received with this thing, and the traffic reporting was slow and it didn't work very well, and people complained about it left and right. Just imagine getting ads on a screen this small. That actually happened. Now, there are no more ads. And this is why I say it's no longer an issue. So if you did connect a GTM 25 to this and you do get the traffic reporting, there are no more ads with it. They abandoned that. Thank God. Good. No ads. So you have ad-free traffic on this little 1260 now. And the same can be said if you receive traffic with a GTM 36 or a GTM 60, that you don't see ads, but there used to be. Yeah, there used to be ads that came over the traffic message channel. Wow, were they annoying. Now, when people see ads today on, again, Waze, they're like, oh, okay, well, no, it's just part of the thing. But people hated the ads so much they said, no, I don't want to use the traffic. Unfortunately, people just accept it now, but back then they didn't. And that's why they abandoned the system. So, it's amazing what people are willing to put up with these days. But with this guy, anyway, you can do a GTM 25 to this and you can receive traffic. How well does that work? I really don't know. Again, the traffic frequencies are updated if you do connect this to Garmin Express, like I said a moment ago. How long will it continue to receive traffic? I have no idea whatsoever. Okay, so last thing about, actually I'm glad I'm seeing this. Now this is a thing that happens sometimes with OpenStreetMap. When you put this on here, you get itty bitty teeny tiny text sometimes because they made the the entry a little too long. Now, if you do this, it's a little easier to read. Or if you do just tap this, well, that's a lot easier to read. Okay, so you have ways around it, so it's not really a big deal. So some final notes on this. Very good bright screen. Very easy to read. I actually prefer this over the nuvi 30, which is another 3.5-inch model, because this arrow right here is bigger, easier to see. When you do use OpenStreetMap, you're not going to get, at least in the United States, you're not going to get speed limits. So this is capable of showing the speed limit, but when that's part of the map data. So if you're using OpenStreetMap in the United States, you don't get that. It basically means you have to pay attention to speed limit signs. Is that a deal breaker? No, to me it's not really. I do like the fact, and this is another thing over the nuvi 30, is that in tools you do get my data, which means you can go in there and delete favorites here by checking off which ones you want. Whereas on the 30, you have to manually delete favorites one by one. A little bit annoying. And the other thing that I like about this is that the icons are a little more colorful. They look really nice. It's real easy to use this thing. There is one last thing I'll note, is that you can, let me see if I can do it from here. Okay, it comes with an ABCDE keyboard. You can change this over to a QWERTY, but not from within the unit. You have to download a keyboard file. I'll have that linked as well, so you can check that out. So if you want, it makes the keys really small, but if you gotta have that QWERTY keyboard, you can get it on this. You can do it. So that is a full setup for one of these little guys. And as I said recently, this is my second one. I liked it enough, I wanted a backup, and this is actually better than my first one. Because this one, as I said, was really hardly used. It's darn good shape, so it's got some years left in it yet. 1260.